Hello, dear friend. Welcome to this quiet space. Tonight, we will journey together through ancient teachings that have guided seekers for thousands of years. These are not difficult teachings. They are not complicated. They point to something your deepest self already knows. Your only job tonight is to rest, to listen, to let these words wash over you like gentle waves on a shore. Some will stay with you, some will simply pass by, both are perfect. Before we begin, let me invite you to settle into wherever you are resting right now. You do not need to sit up straight. You do not need to be in any particular position. If lying down calls to you, lie down. If you need to shift your body, shift. Your body knows what it needs. Let your shoulders drop just a little. Let your jaw unclench if it is clenched. Let your hands rest wherever they naturally fall, on your chest, on your belly, by your sides. It does not matter. There is nowhere else you need to be right now. No task waiting, no problem to solve, no person to please. For these next hours, you are simply here, present, held by this moment. Take a slow breath with me now. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale deeply and let it go. Good. Tonight, we will explore a theme that touches every human heart. Part 1. The Journey Home Welcome. It is the feeling of searching, that quiet restlessness, that sense that something you cannot name is missing, the feeling that peace, wholeness, contentment, they are somewhere just beyond your reach. If only you could find the right relationship, the right job, the right practice, the right insight, then you would finally be okay. Many of you listening tonight know this feeling intimately. You have searched, you have worked so hard, you have tried to fix yourself, improve yourself, become someone worthy of peace, and yet here you are, still searching, still restless, still feeling that something is not quite right. Dear one, I want to tell you something important right now. Before we go any further, you are not broken, you are not behind, you are not too anxious, too tired, too restless, or too far gone. The very fact that you are here listening to these words shows that something in you is already awake. Something in you already knows the way home. The teachings we will explore tonight are simple. They say this: what you are searching for is not somewhere else. It is not in the future, waiting for you to finally deserve it. It is here, now, in this breath, in the awareness that is listening to these words. You are already home. You just need to notice. These stories will help you remember what you have always known, but perhaps forgotten. As you listen, you may find that your mind wants to understand everything, to figure it out, to get the lesson right. That is natural. That is your thinking mind trying to help you. But tonight you can let that go. There is no test. There is no right way to do this. There is nothing to achieve. Simply let the stories be what they are. Let them work on you the way moonlight works on water silently, gently, without any effort on your part. And if you drift in and out of listening, if you fall asleep in the middle of a story, if you forget what was said, that is not failure, that is rest. And rest is exactly what we are here for. You have permission to stop trying so hard. You have permission to simply be. Let us begin our journey together now. In our modern world, we are taught from a very young age to search. Search for success. Search for love. Search for purpose. Search for happiness. We are given maps with destinations circled in red, and we are told that is where you need to go. That is where you will finally arrive. That is where you will finally be enough. And so we search. We climb mountains of achievement. We cross rivers of difficulty. We work late into the night, read countless books, attend workshops and retreats. We believe that the next promotion, the next relationship, the next breakthrough will finally satisfy this deep hunger inside us. But the ancient Zen masters understood something profound. They understood that the thing we are searching for is not out there. It is not hiding. It is not waiting for us to become worthy of it. It is not locked away until we achieve the right level of spiritual development. It is here, right here, in this very moment. In your breath, in the body that is resting right now, in the awareness that is aware of these words being spoken. This is what Zen teaches. We do not need to become something other than what we are to find peace. We only need to wake up to what is already here. Think of it like this. Imagine a person searching frantically for their glasses. They look in every room. They ask everyone they meet, "Have you seen my glasses? I cannot see without them. I must find them." But all the while, the glasses are resting on top of their head. They do not need to search harder. They do not need to travel farther. They only need to reach up and notice what has been there all along. So it is with peace. So it is with wholeness. Opening. Teaching. The search that never ends. So it is with a home we have been seeking. It is already here. We are already. We only need to notice. But our searching mind, what Zen teachers call the monkey mind, keeps us from seeing what is right in front of us. The monkey mind swings from branch to branch, from thought to thought, from worry to worry, from past to future and back again. It is never still. It never rests. It cannot simply be here with what is. And because the mind is so busy searching and grasping and planning, it cannot see the simple truth. You are already okay. You are already whole. You are already home. Tonight, through these stories, we will practice noticing, not trying, not achieving, not becoming, just noticing. Noticing the breath. Noticing the awareness. Noticing the awareness. Noticing the peace that is always here, beneath the noise of the searching mind. The great teacher Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "There is no way to peace. Peace is the way." This means peace is not a destination you arrive at someday. Peace is the path itself. Peace is the path itself. This moment exactly as it is, when you stop fighting it and simply allow it to be. Right now you are on that path, not when you figure everything out, not when your life is perfect, not when you finally become spiritual enough. Right now, As you listen, you do not need to work hard to understand. You do not need to remember every word. You do not need to do anything except rest. Let the stories carry you. Let them point you towards something you already know. Let them remind you of what you have forgotten. You are awareness itself, vast, spacious, unbroken, and all the searching, all the striving, all the effort to become someone worthy of peace. It is just weather passing through the sky of your true nature. The weather comes and goes, but the sky remains. You are the sky. Let us meet our first seeker now, someone who learned this truth in a way that changed everything. Set up. In a village nestled between mountains and rice fields, there lived a weaver named Yumi. She was known throughout the region for her textiles. Her fabrics were extraordinary, intricate patterns that seemed to shimmer and dance in the light. People traveled from distant towns to purchase her work. From the outside, Yumi's life appeared blessed. She had a small house with a garden. She had steady work that brought her income. She had friends in the village who cared for her. And yet, deep inside, Yumi carried a feeling she could not shake, a feeling of incompleteness. The struggle, no matter how beautiful her weavings became, no matter how much people praised her work, Yumi felt that something was missing. She would finish a piece weeks of careful work, thread by thread, and instead of satisfaction, she felt only emptiness. This is not enough, she would think. This is not it. She began to believe that the problem was her craft. Perhaps weaving was not her true calling. Perhaps she was meant to do something else, something more important, something that would finally fill this hollow place inside her. So she tried other things. She studied calligraphy with a master in the next village. She learned to paint on silk. She joined a group of poets who met under the cherry trees in spring. But the feeling persisted. She thought, perhaps it is not my work. Perhaps it is my life that is wrong. Story 1. The Weaver and the Broken Thread. Perhaps I need to marry. Perhaps I need children. Perhaps I need to move to a larger city where more opportunities exist. The searching became exhausting. Every path she tried seemed to lead to the same hollow place. Every achievement left her feeling that the real thing, the real peace, the real fulfillment was still somewhere ahead, just out of reach. One evening, Yumi sat at her loom and could not bring herself to work. Her hands simply would not move. She stared at the half-finished cloth in front of her and felt something break inside. I do not know what I am searching for, she whispered to the empty room. But I know I have not found it, and I am so tired of searching. The encounter it was at this moment of complete surrender, that an old woman appeared at her door. Yumi had never seen this woman before. She was small, bent with age, dressed in simple gray robes. She carried a walking stick worn smooth by years of use. Forgive the intrusion, the old woman said. I saw your light and wondered if you might have some water for a weary traveler. Yumi, who normally would have hesitated to invite a stranger inside, found herself saying, Yes, please, come in. They sat together in silence as the old woman drank. After a time, the woman's eyes fell on the loom. You are a weaver, she said. I was, Yumi replied. I'm not sure what I am anymore. The old woman nodded slowly, as if she understood everything Yumi had not said. May I tell you something I learned long ago? The woman asked. Yumi nodded. When I was young, the old woman began, I too was a weaver, and I too felt that something was missing. I believed that if I could only create the perfect cloth, the most beautiful pattern, the most flawless weaving, that I would finally feel complete. Then I would finally be at peace. Yumi leaned forward. This woman knew exactly what she was feeling. I worked for years trying to create perfection. I threw away hundreds of pieces that had even the smallest flaw. I drove myself to exhaustion, searching for that one perfect creation that would prove I was worthy. That would prove my life meant something. What happened? Yumi asked. One day my hands began to shake. An illness. I could no longer weave with the precision I once had. Every thread I laid was slightly crooked. Every pattern had small imperfections. The old woman smiled. There was no sadness in it. At first I was devastated. I thought, my life is over. Without the ability to create perfection, I am nothing. But then something shifted. Because I could no longer create perfect cloth, I had to let go of perfectionism. I had to weave with the hands I had, not the hands I wished I had. And, Yumi whispered, and I discovered that the searching had been the problem all along. Had been weaving to prove something, to achieve something, to fill a hole I believed was inside me. But when I could no longer do that, when I had to simply weave for the joy of weaving, I found the thing I had been searching for. What was it? Peace. The old woman said simply, the peace that comes from no longer needing to be anything other than what you are. The peace that comes from accepting this moment exactly as it is. The peace that was always here, waiting beneath the searching. The old woman reached out and touched the half-finished cloth on Yumi's loom. This cloth right here, she said, is not lacking anything. It is exactly as it should be in this moment, and you, dear weaver, are exactly as you should be. You do not need to become more. You do not need to achieve more. You do not need to fill any hole, because there is no hole. There is only the story that there is a hole. Integration and realization. The old woman left shortly after, disappearing into the night as mysteriously as she had arrived. Yumi sat alone in a quiet house for a long time. She looked at the loom, at the cloth, at her hands, and for the first time she saw them not as tools to achieve something in the future, but as miracles in the present. These hands had woven countless pieces of beauty. These threads had traveled from distant places to rest here on this loom, this moment right now, with the lamp burning and the night quiet outside, was complete in itself. It did not need anything added to it. She did not need anything added to it. Slowly, gently, Yumi placed her hands on the loom. She began to weave, not to create perfection, not to prove anything, not to fill any emptiness, simply to weave, thread over thread, color meeting color. The rhythm of her hands moving in the ancient pattern weavers have moved in for thousands of years. And as she wove, something extraordinary happened. The hollow feeling dissolved, not because she had filled it, but because she stopped believing it was there. She realized the emptiness I felt was not a real emptiness. It was the space that searching creates. When you are always reaching for something ahead of you, you create a gap between here and there, between who you are and who you think you should be. But when you stop reaching, when you simply rest in what is, the gap disappears. There is no here and there. There is only here. There is no you and the peace you are seeking. There is only you, already peaceful, already whole, already home. Yumi wept as she wove. Tears of relief, tears of homecoming. She had traveled so far in her searching, and the destination had been here all along, in her hands and her breath, in the simple act of being alive. Bridge to listener. Dear friend, can you feel what Yumi discovered? So many of us carry this same hollow feeling, this sense that we are not enough, that we need to achieve more, become more, fix ourselves before we deserve to rest. We believe that peace is something we earn, that wholeness is something we create through enough effort, but this is the backwards thinking that keeps us searching forever. Peace is not earned, it is recognized. Wholeness is not created, it is remembered. You are not lacking anything. The feeling that something is missing, it is not showing you a real absence. It is showing you the gap that searching creates. When you stop searching and simply rest in this moment exactly as you are, exactly as it is, the gap closes and you discover what was always true. You are already home. Right now, as you listen to these words, you can practice what Yumi learned. You do not need to understand everything. You do not need to figure anything out. Simply notice. You are breathing. You are aware. You are here. That is enough. Let your body soften just a little more. Let your searching mind rest just for this moment. You do not need to become peaceful. You only need to notice the peace that is already here, beneath all the noise. It is here. It has always been here. Let us continue with another story. Another seeker learned the same truth in a different way. Setup. In a great monastery in the mountains, there lived a scholar named Daichi. He was brilliant. Truly brilliant. He had studied the sutras for 20 years. He could recite thousands of verses from memory. He understood the philosophy of Buddhism better than most of the monks who had lived at the monastery their entire lives. People came from across the land to hear him lecture. His interpretations of the ancient texts were renowned for their clarity and depth. And yet Daichi himself felt like a fraud. The struggle, despite all his knowledge, despite all his intellectual understanding, Daichi did not feel that he had truly grasped the teachings. Story 2. The scholar who carried empty books. He knew what the Buddha had said about suffering. He could explain the Four Noble Truths with perfect precision. He could describe the nature of emptiness, of non-self, of dependent origination. but knowing about these things and experiencing them. And Aishli's felt like two entirely different worlds. Daichi felt like a man who had memorized every book ever written about the ocean, but had never felt water on his skin, and this troubled him deeply. He would lie awake at night thinking, what if I am wasting my life? What if all the study is meaningless? What if I reach the end of my days having understood everything intellectually but experienced nothing truly? He became obsessed with the question of enlightenment. He meditated for longer hours. He studied harder. He fasted. He attended every teaching, every retreat, every opportunity to deepen his practice. But the more he searched for enlightenment, the more it seemed to elude him. It was like trying to grasp water. The tighter he squeezed, the more it slipped through his fingers. One day, in frustration, Daichi went to the abbot of the monastery. Master, he said, I have studied for 20 years. I know the teachings. I practiced diligently. Why have I not experienced awakening? What am I doing wrong? The abbot looked at him with great kindness. You are carrying too many books, the abbot said. Daichi looked confused. I do not understand. You want me to study less? No, the abbot said. I want you to put down the books you are carrying in your mind. The books of should and not yet and not enough. The books that tell you that you are not there yet, that you need to achieve more, understand more, become more. These books are very heavy, and they are empty. They encountered the abbot, invited Daichi to sit with him. Tell me, the abbot said, right now, in this very moment, are you breathing? Yes, Daichi said. And right now, in this very moment, are you aware? Yes, and right now, in this very moment, is there anything lacking? Daichi paused. He looked around the room. At the simple altar. At the light coming through the window. At his own hands resting in his lap. In this moment, there was nothing lacking. But his mind immediately jumped forward, yes, but. The abbot raised his hand gently. Ah, he said. There it is. The but. The book you are carrying that says, this moment is fine, but I need to get to the next moment where I will finally be enlightened. Do you see? Daichi felt something shift inside him. You have been searching for a future state called enlightenment, the abbot continued. But enlightenment is not a state you arrive at in the future. It is the recognition of what is already true, right here, right now. But I do not feel enlightened, Daichi protested, because you are carrying the book that says this is what enlightenment should feel like, and that book creates the very gap you are trying to cross, the gap between what is and what should be. The abbot stood and walked to the window. The Buddha taught that we suffer because we crave for things to be different than they are. You were craving for yourself to be different. You are craving for this moment to be something other than what it is, and that craving is the very thing that prevents you from seeing clearly. So what should I do? Daichi asked. The abbot smiled. That is another book. The book called What Should I Do to Achieve Enlightenment? Put that book down too. Integration and realization. For several days after this conversation, Daichi felt lost. If he was not supposed to seek enlightenment, what was he supposed to do? If studying and meditating and striving were not the path, then what was? He felt like a man who had been walking toward a destination his entire life and suddenly realized there was nowhere to walk to. It was disorienting, frightening even. But gradually, something began to change. Instead of meditating to achieve enlightenment, Daichi began to simply sit. Not trying to get anywhere, not measuring his progress, not evaluating whether he was doing it right. Just sitting, breathing in, breathing out, aware of the breath, aware of the sounds around him, aware of the thoughts arising and passing away, and in this simple sitting without purpose, without goal, Daichi began to notice something. There was a peace that had been here all along, not the peace that comes after you achieve something, not the peace that arrives when you finally become worthy, but the peace that is the ground of existence itself. The peace that is here whether you notice it or not, whether you achieve anything or not, whether you understand anything or not. It was like discovering that the room he had been sitting in for 20 years had windows, and all he had to do was look up to see the light that had been pouring in the whole time. One morning, Daichi was walking in the monastery garden when it happened. There was nothing special about the moment. Birds were singing. Wind was moving through the bamboo. His feet were walking on the stone path. And suddenly, it was all completely clear. He was not separate from any of this. There was no Daichi the scholar experiencing the garden. There was just this: aliveness, awareness, presence. No one achieving it, no one lacking it, no gap between self and experience. Just this. He laughed out loud. All these years he had been searching for something that was never absent. Like a fish searching for water while swimming in the ocean. The books he had been carrying. The story is about not being enlightened yet. About needing to achieve more than creating the very suffering he was trying to escape. In the moment he put the books down, there was nothing to escape from. There was only this moment, exactly as it is, perfect in its imperfection, complete in its incompleteness. Bridge to listener. Dear one, this teaching is so important for you to hear tonight. You have been carrying books too, books that say, I am not there yet. I'm not healed yet. I'm not worthy yet. I need to fix myself before I can rest. These books are heavy, and they are creating the very gap you are trying to close, the gap between who you are and who you think you should be. But what if there is no gap? What if you are already okay exactly as you are, not in some future moment when you finally heal all your wounds or achieve all your goals, but right now, you are breathing, you are aware, you are alive. That is not nothing, that is everything. The peace you are searching for is not waiting at the end of some journey of self-improvement. It is here, in this moment, available to you exactly as you are. All you need to do is put down the heavy books. Put down the story that you are not enough. Put down the belief that this moment needs to be different for you to be okay. and simply notice you are already breathing. You are already held. You are already home. Let your body rest more deeply now. Let your breath find its own rhythm. You do not need to try so hard tonight. You do not need to become anything other than what you are. Simply rest. The seeking can stop, just for now. You are already here, and here is exactly where you need to be. As we continue our journey together tonight, know that each story is a doorway, a gentle invitation to notice what is already true. You do not need to force understanding. You do not need to grasp anything. Simply let these teachings wash over you like waves. Some will touch something deep inside. Others will simply pass by. All of it is perfect. Rest now, dear friend. More wisdom awaits in the stories to come. But for now, simply rest in this moment. You are held. You are safe. You are already home. Set up. In a valley where rivers wound between rice fields, there lived a farmer named Koji. He had inherited his land from his father, who had inherited it from his father before him. For 3 generations, this land had sustained Koji's family. Koji was a careful farmer, a devoted farmer. He woke before dawn every morning. He tended his fields with precision. He knew every inch of his land, where the soil was richest, where water pooled after rain, which sections needed more attention. His rice fields were his life, his identity, his purpose. People in the village respected him. Koji, they would say, is the kind of man who knows how to work, the kind of man who takes care of what matters. But then came the year of the great rains, a struggle. It began in early summer, rain that would not stop. At first, Koji welcomed it. Rice fields need water. This would be a good harvest, he thought. But the rain continued. Day after day, week after week, the river began to swell. Water crept beyond its banks, moving slowly but relentlessly toward the fields. Koji worked frantically to build barriers. He dug trenches. He piled stones. He worked from dawn until he could no longer see in the darkness, trying to hold back the water. I will not lose my fields, he told himself. I cannot lose them. Without these fields, who am I? What is my life worth? But the water did not care about his efforts. One night, during a storm that shook the walls of his small house, Koji heard a sound that made his heart stop. Part 2. Letting Go of the Weight. Story 3. The Farmer in the Flooded Field. The barrier had broken. He ran outside into the rain. By the light of his lantern, he watched as the river poured into his fields. His beautiful rice fields. Months of work. The crop he had planted with such care, all of it disappearing beneath dark water. Koji fell to his knees in the mud. He had failed. Everything he had worked for, everything that defined him, was being washed away, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. He wept. Not quiet tears, but deep, wrenching sobs. And in that moment of complete despair, something unexpected happened. The encounter. Through the sound of rain, Koji heard footsteps. An old monk was walking along the path beside the flooded field. He carried no umbrella, no shelter from the storm. He simply walked as if the rain were not falling at all. When he saw Koji kneeling in the mud, he stopped. "Why do you weep, farmer?" the monk asked gently. "My fields," Koji said, his voice breaking. "Everything is lost. My rice, my work, my whole life is in these fields, and they are drowning." The monk sat down beside him in the mud, right there in the rain, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. "Tell me," the monk said, "can you hold back this river with your hands?" "No," Koji whispered. "Can you stop the rain from falling?" "No." "Can you make the water flow backward, away from your fields?" "No." The monk nodded. "And yet you have been trying to do exactly these things, haven't you? For weeks you have been fighting the water, fighting the rain, fighting what is." Koji said nothing. What could he say? It was true. "There is a teaching," the monk continued, "about the difference between pain and suffering. Pain is what happens when something difficult occurs. Suffering is what happens when we refuse to accept what is happening. When we fight reality, we create suffering on top of pain. But how can I just accept this?" Koji cried. "These fields are my life." "Are they?" the monk asked softly. "Or are they something you do, something you care for, but not who you are?" Koji looked at the monk, confused. "The water has taken your rice," the monk said, "but has it taken you? You are still here, still breathing, still alive. The fields are flooded, yes, that is painful. But the belief that you are nothing without them, that is suffering. And that is a choice. Integration and realization." The monk stayed with Koji through the night. They sat together under the small shelter of Koji's porch, watching the rain fall and the water rise. And as they sat, something began to shift in Koji's heart. He had been holding on so tightly, holding on to his fields, his identity as a farmer, his idea of how his life should be. And the holding had been exhausting. But what if he stopped holding? What if he let the water be water, let the rain be rain? Let what was happening simply happen. He took a deep breath, and as he exhaled, he practiced letting go, not giving up, not abandoning his life, but releasing his grip on how things should be and allowing himself to be present with how things actually were. The fields were flooded. That was true. But he was still here. That was also true. And somehow in the space that opened when he stopped fighting, Koji felt something he had not felt in weeks. Peace. Not because the situation had changed. The water was still rising. His crop was still lost, but because he had stopped creating suffering on top of the pain. He had stopped telling himself stories about what this meant. Stories about failure. Stories about his life being ruined. Stories about not being able to survive this. And without those stories, there was just this moment. Rain falling, breath moving, a body sitting, awareness witnessing all of it. As dawn broke and the rain finally began to slow, Koji saw something that took his breath away. The flooded fields had become a vast mirror. The sky was reflected perfectly in the still water. Pink and gold clouds, the first light of sun breaking through. It was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. "Your fields have become a lake," the monk said with a smile. "And the lake reflects heaven." Koji understood. By letting go, by accepting what was, he had not lost everything. He had discovered something new. Something he could never have seen if he had remained in his grip of control. Bridge to listener, dear friend, listen closely to this teaching. You are holding on to so many things, holding on to how you think your life should be, holding on to who you think you should be by now, holding on to outcomes you cannot control. And the holding is exhausting you. It is creating suffering on top of whatever pain you are already experiencing. But what if, just for tonight, you practice letting go? Not abandoning your life, not giving up on what matters, but releasing your tight grip on how things should be and allowing yourself to be present with how things actually are. Right now, this moment is exactly as it is. Perhaps your body is tired. Perhaps your mind is anxious. Perhaps you are carrying worry about tomorrow. These things are real. They are here. But when you stop fighting them, when you stop saying, "This should not be happening," something shifts. The pain may still be there, but the suffering, a layer of resistance you have been adding to the pain, begins to dissolve. And in that space, you might discover something unexpected. A peace that exists beneath the struggle. A stillness that is always here, even in the storm. Take a breath with me now. Inhale. And exhale. And as you exhale, practice letting go. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. Let your whole body release its grip just a little. You do not need to hold everything together right now. You can let this moment be exactly as it is, and in that allowing, you might find the peace you have been searching for. Let us continue with another story now. In the capital city, there lived a tea master named Sora. She was young to have achieved such mastery. By the age of 30, she was already teaching students and performing tea ceremonies for nobles and wealthy merchants. Her ceremonies were known for their perfection. Every movement was precise. Every gesture had meaning. The angle of the scoop, the turn of the bowl, the sound of water pouring, all of it was executed flawlessly. Sora dedicated her entire life to this art. She had studied under the greatest masters. She had practiced for thousands of hours. Tea ceremony was not just something she did, it was who she was. And perfection was not just a goal. It was a requirement, a struggle. But this perfection came with a cost. Sora lived in constant fear of making a mistake. Before every ceremony, her stomach would twist with anxiety. What if her hand trembled? What if she spilled? What if she brought shame to her teachers? The fear followed her everywhere. Even when she was alone, practicing in her small tea room, she felt the pressure of invisible eyes watching, judging, finding fault. She began to have nightmares about ceremonies gone wrong, spilled tea, broken bowls, the horrified faces of guests. One day, She was invited to perform a ceremony for a visiting Zen master, a man renowned throughout the land for his wisdom. Story 4. The tea master who spilled this was a great honor, but for Sora, it became a source of terrible anxiety. I must be perfect, she told herself. There can be no mistake, not even the smallest error. The day of the ceremony arrived. Sora had practiced every movement 100 times. Everything was prepared with meticulous care. The room was immaculate. The utensils gleamed. The Zen master arrived with 3 of his students. They settled onto the cushions. The ceremony began. Sora's movements were beautiful, precise, perfect. And then it happened. As she lifted the tea scoop, her hand trembled just slightly. Just enough. A tiny bit of powdered tea spilled onto the mat. It was barely visible. Perhaps no one else even noticed, but Sora noticed. Her entire body froze. Her mind screamed, "You have failed. You have ruined everything. You are not worthy." The fear she had carried for so long crashed over her like a wave. And in that moment of panic, something even worse happened. Her hand, already trembling, knocked against the tea bowl. The bowl tipped. Precious green tea spilled across the mat, dark liquid spreading into the carefully arranged space. Sora's worst nightmare had come true. The encounter. There was silence in the room. Sora could not look up. Shame burned through her. Tears began to slide down her cheeks. She waited for the Zen master to stand and leave, to express his disappointment, to withdraw the honor he had given her. But instead, she heard something unexpected. Laughter. Gentle, warm laughter. The Zen master was smiling at her. "Beautiful," he said. Sora looked up, confused. "Master, I have failed. I have ruined the ceremony." No, the Zen master said. "Now the real ceremony has begun." He gestured to the spilled tea, the imperfect moment. "Before, you were performing perfection, and it was lovely. But it was not alive. It was a dance of fear, not a dance of presence. Every movement was trying to avoid mistake. Every gesture was reaching for approval." He leaned forward. "But this," he pointed to the spilled tea, "this is what it means to be human. To make mistakes. To be imperfect. And to continue anyway." Sora felt something crack open in her chest. "Tea ceremony is not about perfection," the master continued. "It is about presence. It is about being fully here with whatever is arising, including spilled tea, including trembling hands, including fear." He picked up the tea bowl, still half full. "Continue," he said gently, "not to redeem yourself, not to prove you can be perfect. Just continue. Be here with what is." Integration and realization was shaking hands. Sora cleaned the spilled tea. But this time something was different. She was not trying to erase her mistake. She was not trying to pretend it had not happened. She was simply tending to what needed tending. Wiping the mat. Preparing fresh tea. Present. Here. Imperfect. And as she prepared the second bowl, her hands, still trembling slightly, she began to notice something. Without the heavy burden of needing to be perfect, the ceremony became lighter. She could feel the texture of the bowl under her fingers. She could hear the whisper of the whisk against the ceramic. She could smell the tea, earthy and green. These sensations had always been there, but she had been so caught up in performing perfectly that she had never truly experienced them. Now, in her imperfection, she was finally present. The tea ceremony ended. The Zen master bowed deeply to her. "Thank you," he said, "for showing us the real teaching today. The teaching that our worth is not found in our perfection. It is found in our willingness to be present with our imperfection." After the guests left, Sora sat alone in her tea room. She looked at the place where the tea had spilled. The mat was still slightly stained. In the past, she would have been devastated. She would have thrown the mat away, replaced it, tried to erase all evidence of her failure. But now she decided to keep it. The stain would be a reminder, not of failure, but of freedom. Freedom from the impossible burden of perfection. Freedom to be human. Freedom to make mistakes and continue anyway. Freedom to be alive. Not in some ideal future where she never messed up, but right here, right now, in all her beautiful imperfection. Bridge to listener. Dear one, you carry the same burden Sora carried, the burden of believing you must be perfect to be worthy. That you must have it all together. That you must never struggle, never fail, never be less than what you think you should be. And this burden is crushing you. It is preventing you from being truly present in your life because you are so busy trying to be perfect that you cannot simply be. But tonight I want you to hear this clearly. You do not need to be perfect. Your worth is not found in your achievements. It is not found in how well you perform or how few mistakes you make. Your worth is inherent. It is here simply because you exist. And your imperfections, they're not flaws to be fixed. They're part of what makes you human. Part of what makes you real. The spilled tea in your life. The moments where things did not go as planned, where you stumbled, where you fell short, these are not evidence that you are failing. They are evidence that you are alive, that you are trying, that you are human. Let your body soften now. Let go of the need to be anything other than what you are. You are enough, right now, with all your imperfections. You are enough. Breathe that in. I am enough. I am enough. Rest in that truth. Set up. There was once a young messenger named Hero who worked for a great trading company. His job was simple: carry messages from the merchants in the city to their partners in distant villages. Deliver contracts, letters, orders. It required speed, reliability, endurance. Hero was good at his job, very good. He prided himself on never being late, never losing a message, never stopping until the delivery was complete. I am dependable, he told himself. I am the kind of person who finishes what he starts. This identity sustained him, made him feel valuable, made him feel that his life had purpose. But there was something underneath that he did not want to examine. The struggle Hero was always running. Not just physically, though he ran many miles each day, but mentally, emotionally. Running from one task to the next, running from one goal to the next. Never stopping, never resting, because if he stopped, He would have to feel something he had been avoiding for years. Emptiness. A deep, aching sense that without the constant movement, without the constant doing, there was nothing inside him. That he was only valuable because of what he did, not because of who Story 5, the messenger who ran forever, he was. So he ran. He took on more deliveries than anyone else. He volunteered for the longest routes. He pushed his body beyond its limits. His friends noticed. "Hero, you need to rest. You look exhausted. Take a day off." But he could not, because resting meant stopping, and stopping meant facing the emptiness. One day he was assigned a particularly difficult delivery, a message that needed to reach a village high in the mountains, 3 days' journey away in only 2 days. "I will do it," Hero said immediately. "I can run faster. I can make it." He set out before dawn, pushing his body harder than ever before. He ran through the first day and into the night. He ran through the second day, his legs screaming, his lungs burning. He was halfway up the mountain when his body finally gave out. His legs buckled. He collapsed on the path. He tried to stand but could not. His body simply would not respond, and in that moment, what he had been running from caught up with him. The emptiness, the fear, the terrible question, if I am not doing, if I am not achieving, who am I? The encounter. He lay on the mountain path as darkness fell, unable to move. And then, through his pain and fear, he heard footsteps. A monk appeared on the path, walking slowly, carrying a simple bundle. The monk saw Hero lying there and knelt beside him. "You are injured, young friend." "I cannot move," Hero whispered. "And I have failed. I have a message to deliver, and I cannot deliver it." The monk nodded. "May I sit with you?" Hero nodded weakly. They sat together in silence as the stars emerged above. After a long time, the monk spoke. "Why were you running so fast?" "I had to," Hero said. "The message, Doi, I had to deliver it on time. And if you did not deliver it on time, what would happen?" Hero opened his mouth to answer, then stopped. He actually did not know. Probably someone else would deliver it. Or it would arrive a day late. The world would not end. "I see," the monk said gently. "So you were not running to deliver the message. You were running from something else." Tears came to Hero's eyes. "Yes. What were you running from?" From the feeling that if I stop, there is nothing. That I am nothing." The monk smiled, not with judgment, but with deep compassion. "And now you have stopped. You are here, unable to move, unable to do anything. So tell me, are you nothing?" Hero lay there, feeling the stone beneath his back, the cool mountain air on his face, the vast sky above him. He was not doing anything, not achieving anything, not running toward any goal. And yet, he was still here, still breathing, still aware, still existing. "No," he whispered, "I am still here." "Yes," the monk said, "you are. And you were here all along, beneath all the running. You have always been here. You have always been something. You just could not notice it because you were too busy running. Integration and realization. The monk helped Hiro down the mountain to a small temple where he could rest and heal. For 3 weeks, Hiro could do nothing but lie in bed while his exhausted body recovered. At first, it was torture. His mind raced with anxiety. All the deliveries he was missing. All the ways he was failing. All the proof that he was worthless. But gradually, as his body healed, something else began to heal too. His relationship with himself. For the first time in his life, Hiro learned to simply be. Not doing. Not achieving. Just being. He watched the light move across the wall of his room. He listened to the birds outside. He felt his breath moving in and out. And he discovered something astonishing. Just being, was enough. He did not need to run to have value. He did not need to achieve to deserve existence. He did not need to do anything to be worthy of life. He was worthy simply because he was. When he finally returned to the city, he went back to his work as a messenger. But everything had changed. He still delivered messages. He still ran. But he was no longer running from emptiness, because he had discovered that the emptiness he feared was not emptiness at all. It was space, openness, the vast, peaceful awareness that exists beneath all doing. And that awareness did not need him to run. It did not need him to achieve. It simply needed him to notice it. And when he noticed it, when he rested in it, he found what he had been searching for all along. Not in the destination of any delivery, but in the stillness beneath the running. Bridge to listener. How many of you are running right now? Not physically, perhaps, but in your mind. In your life, running from one task to the next, one goal to the next, one distraction to the next. Running because you fear that if you stop, you will have to face something painful. Emptiness, inadequacy, the question of whether you matter if you are not constantly doing, achieving, proving your worth. Dear friend, you can stop running tonight. Right now, you are not doing anything. You're simply lying here, listening, and you are still here. You still exist. You still matter. Your worth is not found in your productivity. It is not found in your achievements or your accomplishments. Your worth is inherent in your being. You are valuable simply because you exist, not because of what you do, but because of what you are. A conscious, aware, living being. Let your body rest more deeply now. You do not need to run anymore. Not tonight. You can simply be here, in this moment with nothing to prove and nowhere to get to. And in this stopping, in this rest, you might discover what Hiro discovered. That what you thought was emptiness is actually fullness. That beneath all the running is a peace that was always here, waiting for you to notice. Rest now. You are home. Set up. In a small village by the sea, there lived a potter named Isamu. He had spent 40 years perfecting his craft. His bowls were treasured throughout the region. Simple, elegant, beautiful in their understated grace. But of all the pieces he had ever created, there was one bowl that was special. He had made it 20 years ago, in a moment when everything came together perfectly. The clay, the wheel, his hands, his intention, all of it aligned in a way that rarely happens. The bowl was perfect. Not perfect in the sense of being flawless, but perfect in the sense of being complete. Whole. Exactly as it should be. Izumu kept this bowl on a special shelf in his workshop. He never used it, never sold it. It was simply there, a reminder of what was possible when everything aligned. The struggle. One day, while cleaning his workshop, Izumu's elbow bumped the shelf. The bowl fell. Everything seemed to happen in slow motion, the bowl tumbling through the air. Isamu reaching out, too late, unable to catch it. The sound of ceramic shattering on the stone floor. Isamu stood frozen, staring at the broken pieces, his perfect bowl. Story 6. The potter and the broken bowl. Something inside him shattered too. He fell to his knees and gathered the pieces, as if he could somehow put them back together. But there were too many fragments, too many cracks. It was broken. Irreparably broken. For days afterward, Isamu could not work. He sat in his workshop, staring at the broken pieces, grieving. 20 years, he thought. I kept it safe for 20 years, and now in one careless moment it is destroyed. He blamed himself. How could he have been so careless? How could he have let this happen? The grief became anger. Anger at himself, anger at the fragility of all things, anger at a universe where beauty could be destroyed so easily. The encounter one evening, as Izumu sat with the broken pieces, an old woman appeared at his workshop door. She was a potter too, he could tell by her clay-stained hands, though he had never seen her before. "May I come in?" she asked. Something in her voice made Izumu nod. She sat across from him and looked at the broken pieces of the bowl. "This was precious to you," she said softly. "Yes," Izumu said, his voice tight with grief. "It was perfect, and I destroyed it." The old woman picked up one of the larger fragments, turning it gently in her hands. "Tell me," she said, "when this bowl was whole, did you ever truly look at it? Did you ever really see it?" Izumu paused. I looked at it every day." "No," the old woman said gently. "You looked at your idea of it. You looked at its perfection. You looked at what it represented. But did you see it? Did you see the glaze with all its subtle variations? Did you see the small asymmetry in the rim? Did you see the bowl itself, or just your attachment to the bowl?" Izumu felt tears coming. "And now," the old woman continued, "now that it is broken, can you see it more clearly? Can you see how the break reveals the clay inside, showing the history of fire and earth that made this bowl possible? Can you see how the fracture lines create a new pattern, a new beauty that did not exist before?" She held up the fragment to the light. "This breaking is not destruction," she said. "It is transformation. The bowl is not gone. It has simply changed form, integration and realization. The old woman stayed with Izumu that evening and taught him something he had never learned in 40 years of making pottery. She taught him about kintsugi, the art of repairing broken ceramics with gold. In kintsugi, she explained, we do not hide the brokenness. We honor it. We fill the cracks with gold, making the breakage part of the history of the object. The bowl becomes more beautiful because it has been broken, not despite it. Together, they worked through the night. Carefully, reverently, they began to piece the bowl back together. Where cracks remained, they filled them with lacquer mixed with gold powder. As dawn broke and the work was complete, Isamu looked at his bowl and wept. It was different now. The gold lines traced across its surface, a beautiful map of its breaking and healing. It was not the same bowl it had been, but it was not less because of that. It was more honest, more real, more beautiful in its imperfection than it had ever been in its wholeness. Isamu understood. All his life he had been afraid of breaking, of imperfection, of the inevitable fragility of all things. But the breaking was not the end. It was a doorway to a deeper beauty, a beauty that could only exist because of the breaking. Bridge to listener beloved, you too have been broken by loss, by disappointment, by all the ways life has not turned out as you planned. And you have been carrying these broken pieces, these cracks in your heart, as evidence that you are damaged, that you are less than whole. But what if your brokenness is not damage? What if it is, instead, the very thing that makes you more real, more beautiful, more fully alive? The cracks in your heart are where the light gets in. The places you have been broken are the places where you have the capacity for the deepest compassion, the deepest understanding, the deepest love. You are not less because you have been broken. You are more real, more human, more beautiful in your imperfect, cracked, golden repaired wholeness. Tonight as you rest, I invite you to stop hiding your brokenness. Stop pretending you need to be perfect and uncracked to be worthy. Your brokenness is holy. Your scars are sacred. They are the map of your journey. The proof that you have lived, that you have loved, that you have dared to be fully human. Let your breath soften now. Let your body rest. You do not need to fix yourselves tonight. You do not need to repair all your cracks. You simply need to accept that you are like the bowl broken and made more beautiful because of it. Whole in your brokenness, perfect in your imperfection. Let that truth hold you as you drift towards sleep. You are not damaged. You are transformed. You are not less. You are more. You are beautiful, exactly as you are. Rest now, dear one. More teachings await, but for now, simply rest. In your golden-filled cracks, in your hard-earned wisdom, in your beautiful, broken, wholly complete self. You are enough. You have always been enough. Rest. Sat up in a mountain village where mist clung to the valleys each morning. There lived a musician named Ayami. She played the shakuhachi, the bamboo flute, whose sound could make even stones weep. Ayame had been playing since she was a child. The flute was not just her instrument. It was her voice, her way of speaking to the world. When she played, something sacred happened. The music did not come from her effort or her technique. It came from someplace deeper, someplace beyond her. People would travel for days to hear her play. They would sit in silence as the notes floated through the air, and something in them would settle. Something in them would remember. Ayame knew this gift was precious, and she was grateful for it. But she did not know how much she had come to depend on it, the struggle. One winter, Ayame became ill. It began as a simple cold, but it settled in her chest. For weeks, she coughed. Her breathing became labored, and when she finally recovered enough to pick up her flute again, something was wrong. The sound was weak, thin. Her breath could not sustain the long, resonant notes that had been her signature. She practiced every day, trying to regain her strength. But months passed, and her playing did not return to what it had been. The music that had once flowed through her so effortlessly now felt forced, strained, like trying to push water uphill. Ayame was devastated. Who am I without my music? She thought. What is my purpose if I cannot play? Part 3. The Stillness Beneath Story 7. The musician who lost her song, she stopped accepting invitations to perform. She stopped teaching her students. She withdrew into herself, spending her days in silence, grieving the loss of the thing that had defined her. One evening, sitting alone in her house, she felt something close to despair. I have lost myself, she whispered to the empty room. The part of me that mattered is gone. The encounter it was during this dark time that a wandering monk came to her village. People told him about Ayame the musician who had lost her gift, and he asked to visit her. When he arrived at her door, Ayame did not want to let him in. She did not want to see anyone, but there was something about his gentle presence that made her relent. They sat together in silence for a long time. Finally, the monk spoke. I have heard that you were a great musician. I was, Ayame said, her voice barely a whisper. But I am not anymore. I see, the monk said. And before you were a musician, what were you? Ayame looked at him, confused. I have always been a musician. Since I was a child. No, the monk said gently. Before you learned to play. Before you picked up a flute, what were you then? Ayame thought back to her earliest memories, a small child playing in the garden, watching butterflies, listening to the wind. I was just a child, she said. And was that child any less whole than the musician you became? Ayame felt something stir in her chest. You see, the monk continued, you believed that the music defined you, that it was the source of your worth. But the music was only something that moved through you. It was never who you were. But without it, I am nothing, Ayame protested. The monk smiled. Are you? Right now, in this moment, are you nothing? Ayame sat with the question. She was aware of the monk sitting across from her. Aware of her breath moving still recovering, but moving. Aware of the sound of wind outside. Aware of the feeling of her body sitting on the cushion. She was aware. No, she said slowly. I am. Here. I am still here. Yes, the monk said, you are awareness itself, the awareness that notices music when music is present, the awareness that notices silence when silence is present, the awareness that notices loss when loss is present, but the awareness itself that is never lost, that is who you truly are. Integration and realization. The monk's words planted a seed in Ayami's heart. Over the following weeks, she began to practice a different kind of sitting. Not sitting to practice music. Not sitting to regain what she had lost. But sitting to simply be aware. Aware of breath. Aware of sound. Aware of the thoughts that arose and fell away. Aware of the grief that still moved through her. Aware of the space in which all of this appeared. And gradually, something profound shifted. She began to see that she had spent her whole life identified with a musician. When the music was good, she was good. When the music was beautiful, she was valuable. When the music was praised, she was worthy. But she was not the music, she was the awareness in which the music appeared. And that awareness did not need the music to be whole. It was already whole. It had always been whole. One morning, she picked up her flute. Not to perform. Not to prove anything. Not even to create beauty. Simply to play. And as she played, the notes still weaker than they had been, still imperfect, something extraordinary happened. She was not attached to the sound. She was not trying to make it beautiful. She was simply present with whatever sound emerged, and in that presence, in that freedom from needing the music to be anything other than what it was, she found something deeper than beauty. She found peace. The music might never return to what it had been. Her breath might never be as strong as it once was. But she was still here, still whole, still complete, not because of what she could do, but because of what she was. Awareness itself, unchanging, unbreakable. All rail, bridge to listener. Dear friend, what have you lost? What part of your life, what ability, what relationship, what dream have you been grieving? And have you been telling yourself that without that thing, you are less? That without it, you are not whole? Listen closely to this teaching. You are not what you have lost. You are not your achievements. You are not your abilities. You are not even the roles you play in this world. You are the awareness in which all of these things appear. And that awareness cannot be lost. It cannot be diminished. It cannot be broken. When you lose something precious, the loss is real. The grief is real. Honor that, but do not confuse the loss with a loss of self. You are still here, still whole, still complete. Beneath everything you have lost, beneath everything you hear losing, there is something that cannot be touched by loss. Your true nature, your deepest self, the awareness that is reading these words right now. That is who you are, and it has never been lost. It can never be lost. Let your breath deepen now. Let your body rest more fully. You are not diminished by what you have lost. You are not less than you were. You are still whole, still here. still home. Rest in that knowing. Set up. There was a young student named Kaito who came to study at a Zen monastery. He was earnest, dedicated. He wanted more than anything to quiet his mind and find the peace that the master spoke of. On his first day, the abbot gave him a simple instruction. Sit. Watch your breath. When thoughts arise, simply notice them and return to the breath. It sounded simple enough. Kaito sat, and immediately his mind erupted. The struggle. Thoughts came like a flood. Thoughts about whether he was sitting correctly. Thoughts about what he would eat for lunch. Thoughts about a conversation he had had 3 days ago. Thoughts about his future. Thoughts about whether he was a good enough student. And beneath all the thoughts, a constant anxiety. I am doing this wrong. My mind should be quieter. Why can't I stop thinking? Kaito tried harder. He clenched his jaw. He forced his attention back to the breath again and again. He tried to push the thoughts away, to create a blank space in his mind. But the harder he tried, the louder the thoughts became. After an hour sitting, he was exhausted. Frustrated. Certain that he was failing at something that should be simple. This pattern continued for days, weeks. Every morning Kaito would sit, and every morning his mind would race, and every morning he would end the session feeling like a failure. Everyone else seems peaceful, he thought, looking at the other students sitting in serene stillness. Why am I the only one who cannot quiet my mind? Finally, in desperation, he went to the abbot. Master, he said, I cannot do this. My mind will not be still. I have tried everything, but the thoughts keep coming. I think I am not meant for this practice. The Encounter Story 8, The Student and the Restless Mind. The abbot looked at Kaito with kind eyes. Tell me, the abbot said, when you sit and thoughts arise, what do you do? I try to make them stop, Kaito said. I try to push them away and return to the breath. And do they stop? No. They get louder. The abbot nodded. Of course, you are fighting with your own mind. And your mind, when fought with, fights back. But the instruction is to quiet the mind, isn't it? No, the abbot said gently. The instruction is to sit, to watch, to notice, not to control. I don't understand. The abbot stood and walked to the window. Come here, he said. Look at the sky. Kaito joined him at the window. The sky was filled with clouds, some white, some gray, moving at different speeds. Do you see those clouds? The abbot asked. Yes. Are they a problem? No, Kaito said, confused. Does the sky fight with the clouds? Does it try to push them away? No. And yet, is the sky disturbed by the clouds? Kaito looked at the vast expanse of blue. The clouds moved through it, but the sky remained unchanged, spacious, untroubled. No, he said quietly. Your mind is like the sky, the abbot said. Thoughts are like clouds. They appear, they move through, they disappear. This is natural. This is not a problem, but they're so loud, so constant. Only when you fight them. Only when you believe they should not be there. But what if you stopped fighting? What if you allowed the clouds to be clouds? What if you simply rested as the sky, watching them pass? Integration and realization, Kaito returned to the meditation hall with a new understanding. When he sat this time, he did not try to control his thoughts. When a thought arose, and they still arose just as many as before, he simply noticed it. There is a thought about lunch. There is a thought about whether I'm doing this right. There was a worry about the future. He did not engage with them, did not push them away, did not judge himself for having them. He simply noticed them, the way he would notice clouds passing through the sky. And something extraordinary happened. The thoughts still came, but they had less power. It was like the difference between being caught in a river and standing on the bank watching the river flow. When he had been fighting the thoughts, he was in the river, being tossed and turned by every current. But now, by simply watching, he was on the bank. The river still flowed. The thoughts still came, but he was not drowning in them. He was the awareness that noticed them. And that awareness was spacious, peaceful, undisturbed. Over time, Kaito's practice deepened. He began to see that the peace he was seeking was not the absence of thoughts. It was the recognition that he was not his thoughts. He was the space in which thoughts appeared, and that space was always peaceful, even when the thoughts were not. One day the abbot asked him, "How was your practice?" Kaito smiled. "My mind is as restless as ever. Thoughts come all the time, but I am no longer disturbed by them." "Why not?" the abbot asked. "Because I am not my thoughts. I am the sky, and the sky is never disturbed by clouds." The abbot bowed deeply. "You have understood. Bridge to listener beloved, listen to this teaching with your whole heart. You are not your thoughts. Right now, as you lie here, thoughts are probably arising. Thoughts about tomorrow. Thoughts about what you need to do. Thoughts about whether you should be sleeping already. Thoughts about whether this meditation is working. This is normal. This is natural. But you have been believing that these thoughts are a problem, that you need to make them stop before you can rest. You have been fighting with your mind, trying to force it to be quiet, and the fighting is what keeps you awake. What if, just for tonight, you stopped fighting? What if you allowed the thoughts to be there, like clouds passing through the sky of your awareness? You do not need to engage with them. You do not need to solve the problems they present. You do not need to push them away. Simply notice there is a thought, and return your attention to your breath, to the sensation of your body resting, to the awareness that is aware of all of this. The thoughts will keep coming. That is okay. You are not trying to have an empty mind. You are simply resting as the awareness that notices the mind, and that awareness is already peaceful, already still, already home. Take a breath with me now. Inhale and exhale. Notice you are breathing, you are aware, and beneath all the thoughts, beneath all the noise, there is a stillness that has always been here. Rest in that stillness, not by creating it, not by achieving it, simply by noticing it. It is already here. You are already home. Deep in a forest that stretched for miles, there lived a woodcutter named Takeshi. His life was simple. Every morning he woke with the sun. He ate a simple breakfast of rice and pickles. He walked into the forest with his axe. He cut wood. He carried the wood back to the village and sold it. He used the money to buy food. He ate dinner. He slept. Day after day, he slept. Day after year. The same rhythm. To an outsider, his life might have seemed monotonous, meaningless even. Just the same tasks repeated endlessly. But Takeshi did not see it this way. The encounter one day, a wealthy merchant passed through the village. He saw Tachi carrying wood and called out to him. "You there, woodcutter, what a hard life you must have. The same work, day after day. Don't you want something more?" Takeshi set down his wood and bowed politely to the merchant. "More?" he asked. "More than what?" "More than this." The merchant gestured at the wood, at Takeshi's simple clothes. "More money, more comfort, more excitement, more meaning. Don't you want to be something greater than a woodcutter?" Takeshi considered this. "I am a woodcutter," he said simply. "I cut wood, I sell it, I eat, I sleep. What could be greater than this?" The merchant laughed, thinking Takeshi was simple-minded. "You could be a merchant like me, travel to distant cities, trade in fine goods, make a fortune, live in a mansion. Then your life would have meaning." "I see," Takeshi said. "And what do you do with your fortune and your mansion?" "Well," the merchant said, I eat, I sleep, I enjoy comfort." "Ah," Takei said, "so you eat and sleep just as I do. But you must travel far and work hard to get to the eating and sleeping, while I simply eat and sleep." Story 9. The Woodcutter's Simple Day. The merchant frowned. "But don't you want more from life? Don't you want purpose? Don't you want to achieve something?" Teishi picked up his axe and ran his thumb along its edge, feeling the sharpness. "When I cut wood," he said, "I am cutting wood, not thinking about yesterday, not worrying about tomorrow, just cutting wood. When I eat, I am eating. When I sleep, I am sleeping. Is this not achievement enough? To be fully present with what I am doing? But that's so simple," the merchant protested. "Yes," Takeshi said with a gentle smile. "It is." The teaching the merchant left, shaking his head at the simple woodcutter who did not understand ambition. But that night, as the merchant lay in his expensive bed at the inn, he could not sleep. His mind raced with thoughts, calculations about profits, worries about a deal that might fall through, plans for tomorrow, regrets about yesterday. Meanwhile, in a small hut, Takeshi slept deeply, because when it was time to sleep, he slept. He did not carry the day's work into the night. He did not carry yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's worries. He simply slept. This was his secret. Not a secret of technique, but a secret of living. When you chop wood, chop wood. When you carry water, carry water. When you eat, eat. When you sleep, sleep. Be fully here with what is, right now, not splitting yourself between past and future, not dividing your attention between what is and what should be. Just this. The Zen masters call this ordinary mind, but there is nothing ordinary about it. To be fully present with the simple acts of living, this is the greatest achievement. This is enlightenment itself. Not something you attain in the future, but something you embody in this moment, in this moment, in this moment. Integration and realization. Years later, the merchant returned to the village. This time, he sought out Takeshi deliberately. "I want to learn from you," the merchant said. "I have achieved everything I thought I wanted. But I am not happy. I am not at peace. You, with so little, seem to have something I do not. Please teach me." Teichi nodded. "I will teach you," he said. "But the teaching is simple, perhaps too simple." "I am ready," the merchant said. Takeshi handed him an axe. "We will go into the forest. We will cut wood. That is the teaching." They walked into the forest together. And Takeshi taught the merchant how to cut wood. Not the technique the merchant knew how to swing an axe, but how to be present with the cutting, how to feel the weight of the axe, how to notice the grain of the wood, how to hear the sound of the blade biting into the tree, how to be fully, completely here with this one action. When the merchant's mind wandered to his business concerns, Takeshi would say gently, "Just cut wood." When the merchant started thinking about whether he was doing it right, Takeshi would say, "Just cut wood." When the merchant began to worry about the future, Takeshi would say, "Just cut wood." After several hours, something shifted for the merchant. For the first time in years, he was not thinking about the past or the future. He was not calculating or planning or regretting. He was simply here, swinging the axe, feeling his muscles work, breathing, present. And in that presence, he felt something he had forgotten existed. Peace. Not because anything external had changed, not because he had achieved some spiritual state, but because he had stopped dividing himself. He had stopped being half here and half somewhere else. He was simply, fully, completely here. And here is where peace lives. Bridge to listener. Dear one, you've been dividing yourself for so long. Half of you in the past replaying old conversations, old hurts, old regrets. Half of you in the future, planning, worrying, trying to control what has not yet happened, and only a small fraction of you here in this present moment. This division is exhausting you. But tonight, you can practice what Takeshi taught. Right now, you are lying down. Just lie down. Right now, you are breathing. Just breathe. Right now, you are listening. Just listen. Do not think about whether you are doing it right. Do not worry about whether you will sleep. Do not replay the day or plan tomorrow. Just be here. Fully, completely, when your mind wanders, and it will gently return. not with force, not with judgment. Simply return to the breath, to the body, to this moment. This is the practice, not something you perfect, but something you return to again and again. And each time you return, you are coming home. Home to the present moment. Home to yourself. Home to the peace that is always here when you stop dividing yourself. Let your breath soften now. Let your body sink more deeply into rest. You are here. Fully here. And here is where you belong. Beloved listener, we have journeyed through many stories tonight. We have met seekers who searched far and found that what they sought was never absent. We have met people who lost what they thought defined them and discovered they were never defined by anything outside themselves. In integration, gathering the threads, we have met teachers who pointed again and again to the same simple truth. You are already home. Let us pause now and gather these threads together. The thread of wholeness. You are not broken. You do not need to be fixed. The hollow place you feel is not evidence of something missing. It is the space that opens when you stop grasping, stop seeking, stop trying to fill yourself with things from outside. You are already whole. The thread of awareness. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not your achievements or your failures. You are the awareness in which all of these things appear. And that awareness is vast, spacious, peaceful, always. The thread of acceptance, peace, is not found in making everything perfect. It is found in accepting what is. The farmer learned this when he stopped fighting the flood. The tea master learned this when she embraced her mistake. The potter learned this when he honored the breaking. The thread of presence. The peace you seek is not in the future. It is here now, in this breath, in this moment. The woodcutter knew this. And so can you. All of these threads weave together into one simple teaching. Stop searching. Stop striving. Stop trying to become something other than what you are. Rest. Here. Now. As you are. This is the way home. And you have already arrived. Your body knows this. Can you feel it? The way your body is letting go. Softening, settling. Your body is not waiting to be perfect before it rests. It is resting now. Your breath knows this. It is not trying to be better. It is simply breathing. Your awareness knows this. It is not striving to achieve enlightenment. It is already here, already aware, already complete. Let yourself be like your body. Like your breath, like your awareness. Let yourself simply be. Not becoming, just being. Take a slow, deep breath with me now. Inhale and exhale. And as you exhale, let go of everything we have talked about tonight. Let go of the stories. Let go of trying to understand. Let go of the teachings themselves. Just rest. In the silence beneath all words. In the stillness beneath all thoughts. In the peace that has been here all along, waiting for you to notice. You are home, dear friend. You have always been home. Rest now. More teachings await in our final journey together, but for now, simply rest in the space between stories, in the silence between breaths, in the peace that is your true nature. You are safe. You are held. You are home. Rest. Set up. There was once a pilgrim named Sato who dedicated his life to finding enlightenment. He had heard stories of sacred mountains where the Buddha himself had meditated. He had heard of holy temples where miracles occurred. He had heard of enlightened masters who could transmit awakening with a single glance. And so Sato set out on a pilgrimage. He would find these places. He would receive these teachings. And then finally, he would be free from the suffering that had plagued him all his life. The journey Sato walked for years. He climbed mountains so high that snow never melted from their peaks. He visited temples so ancient that their wooden beams had turned black with age. He sat before masters who were revered throughout the land. And at each place he asked the same question: "Please help me find enlightenment. Show me the way to freedom." Some masters gave him practices, meditations to perform, mantras to recite, visualizations to cultivate. Sato practiced them all with great dedication. Some masters gave him teachings, sutras to study, philosophies to contemplate, koans to penetrate. Sato studied them all with great earnestness, but the enlightenment he sought never came. After 10 years of pilgrimage, Sato found himself exhausted. His body was worn from travel. His mind was cluttered with thousands of teachings. His heart was heavy with disappointment. "I have done everything," he thought. "I have walked thousands of miles. I have sat before the greatest masters. I have practiced every teaching I was given. And still I am not free. What am I?" Part 4, Coming Home Story 10. The pilgrim who walked in circles doing wrong, the return defeated. Sato decided to return home. He had been gone for so long that he barely remembered what home looked like. But something in him longed for it, for the simplicity he had left behind. The journey back took months, and as he walked, something strange began to happen, because he was no longer seeking, no longer trying to get somewhere, no longer striving to achieve enlightenment. He began to notice things he had never noticed before: the way morning light looked on dew-covered grass, the sound of his own footsteps on the earth, the feeling of wind on his face, the taste of simple rice when he stopped to eat. These were not profound moments, not mystical experiences, just simple presence with what was. And yet, something in him began to settle. One evening, as the sun was setting, Sato came to a river he needed to cross. He stood on the bank, looking at the water. And suddenly, without warning, he laughed, because he recognized this river. It was the same river he had crossed 10 years ago when he first left home, the river at the edge of his own village. He had walked in a giant circle, across mountains and valleys, through distant lands and foreign temples, and he had ended up exactly where he started, the homecoming. As Sato crossed the river and walked into his village, he expected to feel shame. 10 years gone, and he was returning with nothing to show for it. But instead, he felt something entirely different. He felt free because he finally understood what all the masters had been trying to tell him. The enlightenment he had been seeking across 10,000 miles had been here all along. Right here in this village, in this body. In this breath. He did not need to go anywhere to find it. He did not need to become anything to deserve it. It was already here. It had always been here. Sato went to his old house, now empty, overgrown with vines, and sat on the porch where he had sat as a young man, dreaming of enlightenment. And he realized the young man who had left this porch 10 years ago, desperate to find freedom. And the man sitting here now, having walked 10,000 miles. They were seeking the same thing, but only one of them had found it, not because of the journey, but because of the stopping. The freedom was not in some distant place. It was in being fully here, in this place. With nothing left to seek, the teaching years later, people began to hear about the pilgrim who had returned home enlightened. Students came to him, asking, "Master, where did you find enlightenment? Which mountain, which temple, which teaching finally freed you?" And Sato would smile and say, "I found it when I stopped looking. I found it when I came home. Not to this village. I could have come home geographically at any time, but home to this moment. Home to the awareness that had been watching my seeking all along. Home to the peace that never left, even while I wandered for 10 years searching for it. But didn't the journey matter?" they would ask. "Didn't the teachings help?" "The journey mattered," Sato would say, "but not in the way I thought. I thought the journey would take me to enlightenment, but what it actually did was exhaust my seeking. It showed me that no matter how far I walked, I would never arrive at a place called enlightenment, because enlightenment is not a place. It is the recognition that you are already home." Bridge to listener. Dear traveler, how far have you walked? How many books have you read? How many teachings have you studied? How many practices have you tried, searching for the peace that seems always just beyond reach? And are you tired? Tired of the seeking? Tired of the journey? What if I told you that you could stop right now? Not because you have failed, not because the journey was meaningless, but because you have already arrived. You are already home. The peace you have been seeking is not at the end of some long journey of self-improvement. It is here, now, in the awareness that is aware of these words. You do not need to walk 10,000 miles. You do not need to become someone different. You do not need to achieve anything. You only need to stop and notice. Notice. You are breathing. You are aware. You are here. This is it. This is what you have been seeking, not something far away, but something so close, so intimate that you have been overlooking it while you searched for something more dramatic, more distant, more difficult. Stop searching now, beloved. You have walked far enough. You are home. Rest here. Set up. A university professor traveled to a remote monastery to learn about Zen from a famous master. The professor was brilliant. He had multiple degrees. He had read hundreds of books on Buddhism, philosophy, meditation. He came to the master, eager to discuss the finer points of Buddhist philosophy, to demonstrate his understanding, to engage in intellectual debate about the nature of reality. The encounter. The master invited the professor to sit and served him tea. As they sat, the professor began to talk. He spoke about his studies. He quoted from sutras. He explained his interpretations of various teachings. He asked complex questions about emptiness, about consciousness, about the nature of self. The master listened quietly, nodding occasionally, pouring tea. He poured tea into the professor's cup, and he kept pouring. Story 11, The Empty Cup. The cup filled, and the master kept pouring. The tea spilled over the rim, onto the table, dripping onto the floor. The professor jumped up. Stop. The cup is full. It cannot hold any more. The master set down the teapot and looked at the professor with kind eyes. Like this cup, he said, you are full of your own opinions, your own ideas, your own knowledge. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup? Teaching the professor sat back down slowly. He had come here to learn, but he had come with his cup already full of what he thought he knew, full of what he had studied, full of his ideas about what Zen should be. And there was no room for anything new, no room for the direct experience that could not be contained in concepts. The master poured fresh tea into a new cup. When you drink this tea, he said, just drink. Do not think about tea. Do not analyze the flavor. Do not compare it to other teas you have drunk. Just drink. The professor lifted the cup to his lips, and for the first time in many years he did something without thinking about it. He just drank, and the tea was tea, warm, bitter, simple, perfect, nothing special. And yet, in that moment of simple, direct experience, no thought, no analysis, no concept, he touched something he had been reading about for years but had never actually experienced. Presence. Pure, simple, unmediated presence. Not thinking about being present. Just being present. The master smiled. You see, the teaching is not in the books you have read. It is in the cup you are holding, in the tea you are drinking, in the breath you are breathing. In this moment, exactly as it is. Bridge to listener beloved. What are you carrying that is keeping you from resting? What ideas about how sleep should happen? What concepts about what peace should feel like? What expectations about what this meditation should accomplish? Your cup is full of thoughts about tomorrow, full of worries about whether you are doing this right, full of everything you think you know about yourself and your life. And as long as the cup is full, there is no room for this moment to simply be what it is. Empty your cup now. Set down your ideas about how this should go. Set down your ideas about how this should go. Set down your expectations. Set down your worries about whether this is working. Just be here, in this moment, with this breath. Not thinking about being here, just being here. Let your mind be empty. Not empty like a void, but empty like space. Empty like the sky. Empty like a cup waiting to be filled with this moment, exactly as it is. Breathe in and breathe out. Just breathing. Not thinking about breathing. Just resting. Not thinking about resting. Just this setup. There was a Zen master who was very old and knew he would soon die. His students gathered around him, hoping for one final teaching, one last piece of wisdom to carry with them. They asked him, "Master, you have taught us for so many years. You have shown us how to meditate, how to live with awareness, how to find peace in difficulty. But please, before you leave us, tell us, what is the most important teaching? What is the one thing we must remember?" The final words. The old master was quiet for a long time. His breathing was shallow. His body was failing, but his eyes were clear. Finally he spoke. His voice was barely a whisper. This. Story 12, The Master's Final Teaching. The students leaned closer. "Master, what do you mean?" "This is what." The master smiled slightly. "This moment is it." One of the students, desperate for more, asked, "But Master, what should we do with this understanding? How should we practice? How should we live?" The master took a breath, his final breath, and with his last bit of strength he whispered, "Just this." And then he was gone. The understanding for days after, the students sat with these final words, "Just this." At first they seemed too simple. Surely the master had meant to say more. Surely there was something they were missing. But as they sat with the teaching, as they allowed it to work on them, they began to understand. Just this. Not this and something else. Not this while waiting for that. Not this while regretting yesterday or planning tomorrow. Just this. This breath, this moment, this life exactly as it is. The master had spent his whole life teaching them complex meditation techniques, subtle philosophical points, intricate practices, but at the end, he distilled it all into 2 words. Just this. Because this present moment, this awareness, this breath, this is all there ever is. Everything else is memory or imagination. Everything else is story or thought. But this is real. This is alive. This is where life is actually happening. And to be fully here with just this, not needing anything to be different, not reaching for anything else. This is freedom. This is enlightenment. This is hope. Bridge to listener. Dear one, this is the final teaching I offer you tonight. Just this. Right now, there is just this breath moving in and out. Just this body resting. Just this awareness noticing. You are not waiting for some other moment. You are not trying to get to sleep in the future. You are not reviewing the past. You are simply here. Now. With just this. And this is enough. This is everything. Let your whole being settle into the simple truth. Just this breath. Just this moment. Just this. Nothing to achieve. Nowhere to go. No one to become. Just this. Beloved listener, we have walked far together tonight through stories of merchants and monks, farmers and musicians, students and masters. Each story has been pointing to the same truth, like fingers all pointing at the same moon. But we gather all these teachings now, one final time and offer them to you as a blessing. You are already whole. You are not broken. You were never broken. The hollow place you feel, the sense that something is missing, is not showing you a real absence. It is showing you the space that seeking creates. When you stop seeking and simply rest in what is, the hollow place reveals itself to be fullness, openness, the vast spaciousness of your true nature, the final integration, gathering, all the wisdom. You are already whole. You are not your thoughts, your anxious thoughts, your worries, your restless mind. These are like weather passing through the sky of your awareness. You are not the weather. You are the sky. Vast, unchanging, untroubled. The thoughts will come and go. Let them. You do not need to fight them. You do not need to make them stop. You simply need to recognize that you are the awareness that notices them, not the thoughts themselves. Peace is not earned, but recognized. You have been trying so hard to become worthy of peace, to achieve peace, to earn peace, through spiritual practice or self-improvement. But peace is not something you earn. It is something you recognize. It is already here, beneath all your striving. It has been here all along. You only need to stop long enough to notice it. Imperfection is not failure. Your brokenness, your scars, your imperfections, these are not evidence that you are failing. They are evidence that you are alive, that you are human, that you have lived and loved and dared to be vulnerable. Like the broken bowl repaired with gold, you are more beautiful because of your cracks, not despite them. Let go of the weight you have been carrying so much, stories about who you should be, regrets about who you have been, worries about who you will become. All of this is weight that you can set down, not because the past did not happen, not because the future does not matter, but because carrying these stories into this moment creates suffering. And this moment, just this moment, is actually quite light when you stop adding weight to it. You are home. You had been searching for home, for a place where you finally feel safe, complete, at rest. And you have been believing that home is somewhere else. Somewhere you will arrive at when you finally heal enough, achieve enough, become enough. But home is not a destination. Home is right here, right now. In this breath, in this awareness, in this moment of being alive. You are already home. You have always been home. You only need to notice. No, beloved, we are going to let your body rest even more deeply. You have been listening for a long time, and your mind may still be present, still aware. That is perfectly fine. But your body can begin to let go completely now. Bring your awareness to your feet. Whatever position they are in, just notice them. Feel the weight of them, the temperature, and now invite your feet to let go, to become heavy, to release into the surface beneath them. There is nothing your feet need to do right now. No walking, no standing. Just resting. Let them rest. Good. Now bring your awareness to your legs, your calves, your thighs. Notice any tension that might be there, and invite your legs to soften. to become heavy, to sink down. Your legs have carried you so far. They have worked so hard. Let them rest now. Let them be completely supported by what is beneath them. Good. Now your hips and your lower back. This is where we often hold tension, where we carry the weight of our lives. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, let your hips soften. Let your lower back release. Deep relaxation, guidance. Imagine that you are being held, completely supported. You do not need to hold yourself together. You can let go. Good. Now your belly and your chest. Your breathing has its own rhythm. Let it be whatever it is. You do not need to control it. And as you breathe, notice how your belly rises and falls. How your chest expands and contracts. Let your whole torso soften. Release. Any tightness around your heart, any armor you have been wearing, you can take it off now. You are safe. Let your chest open. Let your belly soften. Good. Now your shoulders. This is where so many of us carry our burdens, our responsibilities, our stress. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, let your shoulders drop. Drop away from your ears. Drop down toward the earth. Feel the weight of your arms, heavy, supported. You are not holding anything right now. Let your arms be completely relaxed. Your hands can uncurl. Your fingers can soften. Nothing to grip, nothing to hold. Just resting. Good. Now your neck and your jaw. Notice if you are clenching your jaw. If there is tension in your throat, let your jaw hang loose. Let your tongue rest softly in your mouth. Let your neck be supported. You do not need to hold your head up. You do not need to hold anything. Just let go. Good. Now your face. Soften the muscles around your eyes. Let your eyelids be heavy. Soften your forehead. Let any lines smooth out. Let your whole face relax into a soft, peaceful expression. Like the face of a child sleeping. Innocent, unguarded. At peace. Good. And finally, the crown of your head. Imagine that any remaining tension, any remaining thoughts are floating up and out through the top of your head, like steam rising from warm water, just drifting up and dissolving into the air. Your whole body is now completely relaxed, completely supported, completely at rest. From your feet to your head, every part of you is letting go. There is nothing you need to do, no one you need to be, no one you need to become. You are simply here, resting, being held. Now, beloved, I want you to notice something. You are still aware, still here, but your body is deeply relaxed, perhaps the most relaxed it has been in days, weeks, maybe longer. And this awareness, this gentle noticing that is still present, this is your true nature. It does not need to sleep. It is always here, always aware, always at peace. But your body is ready to sleep now. And you can let it. You do not need to fight for consciousness. You do not need to try to stay awake to hear every word. Final dissolution in the sleep. If sleep comes, welcome it. Let yourself drift. Let the boundary between waking and sleeping become soft. blurred. You might find that you are hovering in that beautiful space between awake and asleep. That hypnagogic state where thoughts become dreams and dreams become thoughts. This is a sacred space, a threshold. Let yourself rest there. You are safe, you are held, you are home. And as you drift deeper now, I want to leave you with a blessing. A reminder that you can carry with you into sleep, and into tomorrow, and into all the days that follow. May you know in the deepest part of yourself that you are whole. Not becoming whole, not working toward wholeness, but already always completely whole. May you rest in the awareness that you are not your thoughts, not your emotions, not your achievements or failures. You are the vast, spacious, peaceful awareness in which all of these things appear and disappear. May you remember that peace is not something you earn through effort or deserve through goodness. Peace is your natural state. It is always here, waiting for you to notice it. May you be gentle with yourself. May you honor your imperfections as part of your beauty. May you know that you are not damaged, but transformed by all you have lived through. May you let go of the weight you have been carrying. May you set down the stories of not enough and should be and almost there. May you rest in this moment, exactly as it is, knowing that this is enough. You are enough. May you wake tomorrow with fresh eyes, seeing your life not as a problem to be solved, but as a gift to be lived. The final blessing. And may you always remember, you are already home. The peace you seek is not somewhere else. The wholeness you long for is not in the future. It is here. Now. Always, you are home. Rest now, beloved. Let yourself fall into sleep like falling into soft arms that will catch you. Let yourself surrender into the darkness, knowing it is not empty, but full of rest, full of healing, full of peace. You are safe. You are loved. You are whole. You are home. Sleep now, just this breath, becoming slower, deeper, deeper. Just this moment, becoming softer, quieter. Just this awareness, expanding, dissolving into peace. You are home. Sleep deeply. Sleep peacefully. Sleep knowing you are exactly where you need to be. Home. Always home. Rest now. Rest. Now. Rest.